money. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tomi. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. I know some of you are judging me for having lemon and cucumber water in a glass, but I'm grown and I can do whatever I want. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys the kinds of people you need to avoid this year in 2022. It's still relatively new, you know. I mean, time goes by really fast, but you get the point. I'm going to be telling you like 10 kinds of people you should avoid. So if you see any of these traits in your friends, it's either you confront them or you keep them at a distance, or I don't know, dump them. But up to your own discretion. So if you want to hear everything I have to say, then just keep on watching, get your own drink or your snacks, and cheers. So number 1.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say, if you see any white thing in my hair, it was edge control. Edge control was not on my side these days, so please just ignore it. Okay, bye.
This one is really obvious. I'm sure you've seen like content creators doing these kinds of videos a lot, so these points are probably stuff you heard before, but I have to make my own version. Okay, number 1 is negative. Like people that are so negative, like they only respond to negativity. Like literally you could be having a very like well-rounded conversation about something, and then they don't respond until you say something negative. So let me give you an example, right? I was telling my sister about this girl on social media that like we both know, like on social media. Apparently she has met the girl in person before, and like I don't know, the girl is like a she's kind of open about her faith and stuff. And then I was basically telling my sister how like I was happy for the girl and like, you know, her finding God and whatever. And my sister was like,
yeah, but I heard that she used to be HOE.
And I'm just like, okay, how does that make you feel better saying that? Like, what's the whole point of bringing that up? I was saying that I was happy for somebody and you had to bring up something from their past. Like, why do you have to be so negative? Why can't you just focus on who they are now? Do you get what I mean? Like, people like that are just not it. Please, if you have anybody like that in your life, just keep them at an arm's length, because it's not your job to be undoing that level of negativity in people's heads. Like, if they can't be happy for somebody else, they're not meant to be in your corner. Number 2 is girls. This is for girls. I mean guys too, but like people that only talk about, so for girls that like guys, girls that only talk about men and money. So superficial people. I guess for guys it will be like guys that only talk about women and money. They are just the most surface level, superficial, like nothing, no substance. And like, don't get me wrong, it's fun to like fantasize over where you want to be, the kind of house you want to live in, and like, oh, kind of relationship you want to be in, and how you want your man to look like, and whatever, like aesthetically wise. But aesthetically speaking, but like not every single time that like it's just men, money. Like there's more to life than men and money. Like money is nice, money is important, but like can we talk about something more? Like what's people that are just always talking about how they want to be a billionaire and they want to be rich and they want to do this and do that? I'm like, okay, shut up. Now what else you have to say? Like they literally, their identity is just tied to money, man-made paper. Can you imagine? No, you don't need those kinds of people in your life. Please. Next. Number 3 is people that are so obsessed with made up timelines, like making up timelines in their head, like, oh my gosh, I have to meet my man, I have to get married by 25, and like I have to be making 6 figures, I have to be a millionaire by 27, and I have to do this, and my body has to look like this by this age, and I have to da. Like, please, if you want to be giving yourself limits and timelines, don't drag me inside your mess. I don't need any of that, okay? I'm beautifully and wonderfully made, and I'm very capable of anything I want to do in life, regardless of my age, regardless of what I look like, my skin color, like where I am in life. I don't care. Like, don't start telling me all these things. And people like this, they just never shut up about like, oh, it's marriage, like getting married, and talking about how they want their proposal to be and their engagement. I'm like, please, can we chill out? Like, I don't like that kind of energy, because then it makes me now start feeling like, oh, I have to start thinking of what age do I want to have XYZ by. No, at the end of the day, God has the final say. So why should I be giving myself timelines? I'm not even sure if that's what's going to happen. I'm not about that life. That KFC guy, he didn't find the recipe till he was in his 60s. That's when he successfully found the recipe. Imagine if he was, when he was like my age, he was saying, if I don't get this thing by 25, I'm quitting, or like I have to have XYZ amount of money. Do you think he would have gotten there? No, he didn't give himself a timeline. He believed in himself, and that's how he got his recipe. People pick in their 40s. Why do you even want to pick in your 20s? Like, that's so bland, like that's so boring. I don't know if I'm the only person here, but I don't want to pick in my 20s. Like, my 20s need to be like the building stage, and then I want to pick like my late 30s, 40s. Like, let me be looking like hot cake, let me be rich, let me be wealthy, not now, because it's like, if it happens now, how am I going to maintain it then? No, I don't want to pick in my 20s. Please let me know in the comments if you also one of those people that doesn't want to pick in your 20s. Okay, let's move on to the next point. Number 4 is people that make everything about themselves, or they take every single thing so personally. Like, people that think that the world revolves around them, that everybody's actions, like, they have like real solid main character energy when it comes to, like, I guess, other people's actions. They think everything revolves around them. Like, if I'm talking to my friend right now and we're having like a good conversation on the phone, and I have to hang up because of something important, I'm like, oh, I'll call you back, bye. And then the next day or in the evening, they now text me and they'll be like, oh, why'd you hang up? Is it because of me? Did I do something that I didn't like? Did I say something that I didn't like? Like, girl, I have a life, okay? I had something to do. I had an emergency to attend to. The world doesn't revolve around you. You're not the most important person. There are almost 8 billion people on this planet, so chill out. Like, it really like irks me. I feel like it's low-key way of being selfish, and those people are not even aware. That's the worst part. They don't get it. And it's like, if I was on the phone call and I was being very, very brief, like you were trying to have a conversation about me, ask me about like what's going on in my life, maybe we've not talked in like 2-3 months, and I'm being super brief, then yes, I feel like it's fair for you to confront me later and be like, oh, the fact that you were brief made me feel like you didn't really want to talk, especially given that we haven't talked in a while. And like, in that case, it probably could be something personal. So that's fair, because that's how I acted throughout the conversation. Not if I only hang up at the end because of an emergency and you're asking me if it's because of something you said. Why do you think everything is about you? I feel like people like this are so insecure. Like, they just don't, like, they think that everyone is personally attacking them, and I'm like, nobody cares about you like that. Nobody cares. Like, chill out, get it together. Everybody is focused on how to pay their rent or their student loans, or how to become happier, or if they don't like their job, how to create an exit strategy, or fixing their relationship with their family members or their siblings or their boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, that's what is occupying people's minds, things that directly affect them, not you. You're not that important, okay? So I'm going to put you in your place. Go and stay where you belong and just take a chill pill. When you've really recuperated and gotten it together, and you're no more deeply insecure, then you can come back out into the world and try to make friends. Because you just be a very draining person. If you take everything personally, your friends will be drained, your siblings will be drained, everybody around you will be so drained. So you can decide to be draining and overbearing, or go and work on yourself and be somebody that everybody likes to be around. Also, those people, like, it's so hard to have a mature conversation with them because they'll make everything about them. You can be having a topic of, you can just be talking about something in general. The next thing they'll start talking about their trauma, or like their recent realizations in life, or like their own insecurities. Like, everything is always about them. Why do you think you're all that? Like, why do you think you're so important? Yes, everybody has value, but like, you're not in the center of everybody's universe. Like, please get it together. Oh yeah, and they also can't take any criticism. Criticism equals to attack on them, on who they are as a person. And it's so draining. Like, imagine you telling somebody like, oh, I don't know, this is just an example. I don't really like to comment on people's driving ever. Like, it's like, I either drive or I swallow it and just sit in the passenger seat and be okay with how the other person is driving. If I don't like it, then I have to be the one driving. But let me just use that as an example. Let's say you like, personally, when I'm driving with other people, if I'm a bit rough, or if I have to slam the brakes or something, I'm always like very apologetic about, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry, like, sorry, or like, maybe, yeah, you know, when you have to do like brace, like sharp really quick actions like that can be unsafe and make everyone jerk forward. Like I usually apologize, but let's say you're driving with a friend and your friend is just rough and and you now tell your friend that, oh, her driving did not make you feel safe, and then next thing she's like, oh, you don't like me as a person, I'm a good person. Why are you feeling attacked? Your driving is not who you are. If you're equating an action that can be fixed to who you are, then you don't rate yourself, and that's so pathetic. Like, come on. You're so much better than that. Just because someone critiqued your driving, can't it be fixed? It can be fixed. So why are you so mad about it? Why is your driving tied to your sense of self-worth or who you are as a person, or whether or not you're a good person? See, people that can't take criticism, they think everything is, or somebody attacking them, saying that they're not a good person. Chill out. It's not about being a good person. It's about being able to take criticism, work on it, fix it, and improve your relationships. Okay, number 5, one of my biggest, actually everything on this list I can't stand, but people that are horrible listeners. Like I can't do it. Like they can't focus on what you're saying. They can't. Let me give you guys an example. When me and my sisters filmed that sister tag, you know how we like, there was a question that was like, oh, would you guys be friends if you were not sisters? And we're talking about it after the video. If you've not seen it, watch the video. I'll put it on the screen. But anyways, I was telling my sister that I actually think that she's more close-minded than she wants to admit. And the next day she was like, oh, you're more serious than me when it comes to like faith and stuff. That like, I'm like, what does that have to do with being close-minded? She was like, oh, that she's not close-minded, she just has like her boundaries. For example, like she won't do drugs, or she won't do ayahuasca. If you guys don't know what ayahuasca is, like this substance that a shaman is like the ayahuasca guy, gives people to drink, and like it's supposed to cleanse your system. It's like a spiritual thing, and then people like throw up and stuff. So she was like, oh yeah, I won't do ayahuasca, I won't do drugs. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with being open-minded or close-minded? Like being close-minded is not the same thing as having boundaries. Like, are you trying to attack me personally for my faith, or what's calling me close-minded because of what? Like, what's even that based on? Like, what does my personal boundaries have to do with being up? Like, it just did not make any sense to me. I'm like, clearly we're not listening. At that point in time, I was like, whatever. But later, when I thought about it, I was so pissed off. I was like, that's kind of a way of shutting somebody up, like indirectly being like, okay, what you have to say does not matter. And she does that all the time. She literally, all the conversations are about her. Some of these points are about her. Yes, I'm shading you. I'm not going to say who it is particularly, because obviously, like, I'm still trying to be protective in a way, but I don't even think she's going to watch this, so it's fine. This is just my form of therapy, and I'm also teaching you guys the kind of people that you should not be friends with. Well, you don't have to not be friends. It's your own choice, okay? Your judgment. But if I were you, I would avoid them, keep them at an arm's length. I won't be putting extra effort into trying to be friends with them. But yeah, I'm just like, okay, what does that have to do with? What does ayahuasca and drugs have to do with being, like, tell me please, guys, if you understand in the comments, please tell me. Like, boundaries and close-mindedness are not the same thing. Like, but yeah, when someone says something like that, it's clear that they were not listening to you. Like, what you said was not irrelevant, because it's like, if they were listening, then they would have factored in what you said into their own response, into their reply, into their thoughts, into what to say to you, you know. So people that are just horrible listeners, everything is just all about them. They always monopolize the conversation or play victim. Like, you don't need those kinds of people. They are just exhausting. And like, I'm sure your job or like other responsibilities in your life are already making you exhausted, so you don't need extra. Like, people in your life are one of the only things you can control in life, so you have to be proactive about it. You can't just be lax and just be like, whatever, like, life is short, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Like, you have to be intentional. Okay, number 6 is people that love to ruminate on the past. They love to live in the past. They don't want to move forward ever. So let me give you an example. Let's say I had a man, and me and my mom broke up, and like, I saw one of my friends, because I don't see my friends on a regular basis. Like, I'm very I don't want to say low maintenance, but I really, like, as a friend, I'm not the kind of person that needs to talk to someone all the time. So it's possible I see my friends like once in 3 months, and I'm totally fine with this. Once in 3 months, once in 2 months, whatever. So let's say that me and my mom broke up, and then I saw my friend, and like, I was telling my friend about it, like, oh, I'm so heartbroken, I can't believe XYZ happened. And then the next time we see, 3 months later, I'm like, I'm not really trying to talk about it. I'm just trying to keep things lighthearted. As my friend, like, you should be able to pick up the hints and tell, oh, okay, she doesn't really want to talk about this, like, gauge the situation. And like, if I don't want to talk about it, then like, just go with the flow. Like, if I'm talking of something lighthearted, then you two, like, go with the flow. Do you get what I mean? Don't now bring it up and be like, oh yeah, how is your breakup going, when you can see that I clearly don't want to talk about it. Like, it makes people feel uncomfortable. And why are you bringing up the past? Why are you bringing up something heavy that I clearly don't want to talk about? Do you get what I mean? Like, people that just love to just stay in the past, live in the past, like, something will happen to them and they will drag it. Like, they don't like let things go. You don't need that kind of energy in your life. Personally, for me, it's like, if something happens, I just like try to deal with it at that point and move on. But some people, they will stay, they will sit, they will ruminate, they will use it to define them. You don't need that, especially if a person is like a really close friend to you, because then it will start to affect you, and then you don't want to be miserable like that. Like, living in the past is not it. There are so many beautiful things about life that you could be occupying your brain with, the space in your brain you could be occupying it with, and then you're choosing the past. No, you can't do that, please, guys. No. Okay, number, I think 7 is people who push boundaries. Oh my gosh, people who push boundaries, they clearly don't respect like your breaking point or where you draw the line or anything like that. Let me give you guys an example, light-hearted example. So let's say that your friends, like, let's say you're in your friend group, 4 girls, and then your friends are very like, when you go to the beach, your friends like to wear like bikinis and stuff and like just chill, but you, on the other hand, you prefer to wear like a one piece with a beach cover up and stuff, and you guys are going to the beach. Maybe that's the first time you guys are going all together, and your friends are like, oh, you should wear bikini, and you're like, no, I prefer one piece. Your friend should be okay with it. Like, even if it was like a cute bikini suggestion and you're like, oh, I'm not comfortable, I prefer to wear one piece. Like, they shouldn't be pushing you to wear bikini, or being like, oh, your Insta pictures are going to look nicer, or like, you know, what if you meet a hot guy at the beach? Like, that is so wrong. Like, somebody has already told you they're not okay with something. Just respect it and move on. If you want to wear the bikini, that's fine, but if your friend doesn't want to wear, then you shouldn't be pressuring them and making them feel uncomfortable. Do you get what I mean? These kinds of people, they don't deserve every part of you. The parts of you that are, you know, like the parts of you that they don't deserve, it should be reserved for the elites, okay? The people that will respect you, the people that don't push your boundaries, and people that look at you like gold, just like you look at them like gold. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, people that push boundaries are a huge no-no. This also relates to my example of like living in the past. It's like, if you clearly see that someone doesn't want to talk about something, like, just leave it there and stop making people feel like, oh, they have to over-explain or over-compensate. Like, no, if you have any issues, don't project them onto your friends. The next, I think this is number 8, but it's like people that push you to quit on your loved ones. Oh my god, these kinds of people are like, it's like, I'm impatient, but like, I would not be so impatient for something that does not directly affect me, like my friend's loved one that I don't even have an emotional connection to. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, let me give you an example. Let's say my friend is telling me how she has this best friend that isn't treating her right, or like backstabbed her, like multiple things that the friend has done to her that are clearly a red flag, and I don't want her to be friends with her. I will still vocalize it and be like, you know, like, I think this is a really messed up situation, and like, you know that you feel like you're not supposed to be there, like your gut is telling you that for a reason, all these like reassuring things. But I'm not going to pressure them to quit, especially if they've been friends for a long time, like let's say a decade. It's like, it's hard to detach from something like that, so I have to be patient. And by the way, it's not even really any of my business. If she wants to stay friends with the person, it doesn't affect me, so I shouldn't even have a strong opinion on it. If she doesn't want to stay friends with the person, also should not affect me. She's just asking me for my advice, and I gave her, and that's where it should end. I shouldn't be pushing her to quit. Oh, cut them off. Like, some people, you tell them about something that somebody did, and before you even finish the first sentence or the second sentence, you're just like, cut her off, cut him off. And I'm like, you didn't even hear everything I have to say. You're not even interested in the context. Like, why are you so quick to tell me to cut people off? Like, are you lonely or what? Is it that misery loves company? That's what it is, because you're probably miserable because you cut everybody off without even like giving them grace, so like being patient with them and like understanding the full situation. Some people don't even ask, like let's say their friend or their man or their girlfriend or whoever, someone that they have a personal relationship with, about their own point of view or perspective before they get mad at something. Like they don't even ask, and it's like, how do you even know the full story if you don't ask? Do you get what I mean? Like there might be details which, at least, I don't know about you guys, but personally, if my friend did something that I wasn't okay with, or I saw things a certain way, whenever I confront them, there's always part of the story that I didn't know, and then it gives me the full context, and I'll be like, oh, okay, now I understand why you did that, or I understand why you acted that way. But some people don't care. They just like, they don't even want to hear what you have to say. Just slice, cut them off. Like, you can stay friendless, but not me. Like, I'm not going to cut everybody off and just not even hear what they have to say. That's so unfair. Like, that's not fair at all. Okay, number 9 is people that like they can't compartmentalize their trauma. Like they can't compartmentalize their insecurities. This is probably people that also play victim and stuff, like, or the people I mentioned that probably live in the past and everything, and like make everything about themselves, or they think the world is out to get them. But yeah, like people that can't compartmentalize their trauma, they are very like draining and very like tiring. Or like an insecurity, for example, let's say you post it, like you take a set of photos, like now this top I'm wearing is cropped, so let's say I take pictures with this top and then I send it to my friend. I'm like, oh, which one should I choose, like which one should I post on Instagram? And she's like, oh, I don't think you should post them. And the reason why, maybe she doesn't tell me, but the reason why is just because it's cropped and I'm showing skin and she's not comfortable showing her tummy. Excuse me, how is that my own personal problem? Like, why are you telling me not to show that just because you're not comfortable showing it? Like, compartmentalize, please. I shouldn't be paying for things like that. I came here to live my best baby girl life. So if you're not in support of that, like, just get lost. Like, people like that they just can't compartmentalize. Like, everybody around them has to suffer what they've suffered or what they are suffering, and I'm just like, that's so unfair and so miserable. Like, compartmentalize, for goodness sake. Nobody is perfect, right? Everybody goes through stuff, but you shouldn't be making people around you pay for it. Like, it's so draining, it's so exhausting. Like, nobody will want to be around you, really. Like, it's actually a lot. It is. And as someone that likes to mind my business, I really like to mind my business. So it's like when I meet people like that, I just get so mad about it, because I'm like, why are you dragging me into all of this? Like, leave me alone. Do you get what I mean? It's like building confidence and maintaining confidence and all of that is already work on its own. So imagine now being around somebody like that, how much harder it would be. Like, that's just like, that's not the life that we signed up to live. Do you get what I mean? And the last one is people that are overly critical or have like very, very strong opinions about what you want to do with your life. Like, these kinds of people, they are just like, I feel like they are just high key. Like, on the surface they look like friends, but low key it's like they have some sort of issue going on with you. And it's like, why do you have such a strong opinion? Personally, I feel like whatever my friends want to do with their life, I will support it, like, for the most part. If my friend today is like, oh, I want to go to med school, I support you. If tomorrow you're like, you know what, I want to start a photography business, support you. If next tomorrow you're like, you know, I want to be a luxury travel advisor, I support you. Like, I'm that kind of person that's like, whatever, because change happens. Who cares? Who am I to tell you what to do with your life? My job as a friend is just to support you and be there for you when you need me to be. But all these people that are just always critical, like, you literally tell them one small idea that you had, oh my gosh, like maybe you wanted to make merch, and they'll be like, no, I don't think you should do it, because and they will start having all these opinions. Like, why? If you're not comfortable within yourself, if you're not secure, like, I don't understand. Maybe is it because you wanted to start merch and you feel like I stole the idea, which doesn't even make any sense, because the world is everybody's oyster. Like, everyone should have that mindset, right? So it's like, why is the fact that I want to make merch bothering you so much? If you want to do merch, you can do your own merch. Am I stopping you? Like, why? And they like always criticizing everything, or it's part of the negativity point, actually. But yeah, like, that's all the points I had in this video. Let me know if you guys agreed. Okay, to all these points that I made in this video. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe in the comment. Oh my gosh. Subscribe to my channel or watch my other videos first to decide if you like my content, and then subscribe and let me know if you have any ideas for me. Let me know what you thought about this video. I wish you the best with this year and everything that you set out to do. I hope you reach all your goals, you smash all your goals, and you be the baddest bee that you could possibly be. Okay, thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.